Hello, all of you. Such a beautiful evening here in Mumbai, and I welcome you all here for my Women Mastery program, and that is what is day 16 is all about. Yeah, so the skill which I'm going to today discuss is something very light, very sweet skill, and which every woman has. So, any guesses here before you can put those in the comments here? And that is how we are going to go with it. Any guesses, girls here? Yeah. So, yeah, no guesses? We are gifted with this quality. Yeah, we are gifted with this skill. God has gifted us with this skill. So, any guess? Yes. So right. So absolutely right. So day 16 is about creativity skills, right? So this is the one skill which has been gifted to all women across the globe. Divine has blessed them with that creative skill, right? And we are the leaders in this skill. And that is where I want each one of us today gives so much attention to this skill which can take us from level A to level Z. Yeah. So there are 26 alphabets when you say, then we can go from A to Z with this skill. And in so many areas, in so many avenues are open for us to use the creativity, right? So, having said this, Vaishali Nair, the founder and the managing director of Enduring Genesis. I want to invite you all for today's session. A warm welcome to all of you. A good evening to all of you. And yes, let's begin with this skill and then deep dive how we can really use to actually achieve the full potential, right? So let's go and let's begin. Yeah. So here it is, yeah. So what is creativity, girls? Okay, any answer, any guess? How will you define creativity? Yeah. So creativity is the ability, right? It's the ability to think about a task or a problem in a very new, different, productive, innovative way, or the ability to use the imagination to generate new ideas, right? Absolutely, Suvarna, you are right. Yeah, so you can generate, and creativity is about new idea, as you said it, right? So it is also about looking at a situation. It can be a problem, it can be a challenge, it can be a negotiation, or anything as I discussed yesterday. It can be anything, but how we look at it at that situation in a different way, and that also to benefit everyone in the process. So that is also creativity. You might have seen a lot of artists who are they can use the canvas so effectively with so much of creativity. Yeah, so it's all about the way we look at certain things in life, in nature, how we can be very creative when it comes to putting that nature on the canvas. Yeah, so this is all about creativity, how we can use it. It enables us to solve complex problems or find some interesting ways to approach some task. Yeah, yeah, and you might have seen a lot of videos on YouTube, lot of videos on Google, lot of things which are available about creativity. You know how people are so creative in their areas. So if you are creative, you look at the things from a unique perspective, which is a different perspective, and it's not with the other person. Yeah, it's your unique way of actually observing the things around you, and then how you can better in that area, or how you can do it in a different way, or how you can actually find something very innovative, so you can find patterns and make those connections to find those opportunities. Yeah, so there are some risks definitely involved when when somebody is being creative, but you can show that you are self motivated to try things that have never been done before. So if you see lot of breakthroughs, lot of breakthroughs in most of the areas, in research development or in the art or in the science or in commerce, everywhere if you see, or in engineering, lot of things are actually the brainchilds of creativity. Yeah. So now how will I can define what is being creative? Yeah. So being creative means you can think about a task or a problem in a different way, as I said it, but you will also use your imagination, right, to come up with the ideas to solve the problem or the task, or put something new into the market, or generate something new so that it can be useful to the community. So it's all about your vivid imagination, generating ideas, visualizing, designing innovative and resourceful kind of deals, or then claiming a larger piece, or sometimes preparedness also is one of the creativity. So those who prepare better, they do better in this area. Yeah. So creativity is a very valuable workplace skill, which I want to really emphasize again and again, because here then you can leverage on that particular skill, or that particular useful tool for developing your new ideas. You're increasing the efficiency at workplace, or devising some kind of solutions to the complex problem. So while you may have natural creative skills in certain forms, it is a skill that can be learned, right? So when I'm saying this, creativity is a gifted thing, but even those who have less creativity, or those who are not that much creative wherever they are desired to, at workplaces, that can be learned and developed over a period of time. So good news to those who are not that creative. Yeah, I see a lot of yes, absolutely, Rajesh, absolutely, Kannan, absolutely. So in this today's session, we will discuss, what creativity is and how you can take advantage of these creative skills in your day-to-day task. Now let's go to understand the benefits of creative thinking, in the workplace. So we should be knowing what is it, when we are having that creative thinking skill or ability, how we can use it at workplace, and what kind of benefits or advantages which we can derive from this. So there are several benefits of developing and encouraging creative thinking within the workplace, that improves both the company and as well as you as an employee, right? So these benefits can include, increased employee attraction and retention. It can be improved teamwork and collaboration. It can also be enhanced productivity as well as enhanced problem solving. So examples of the creativity skills, there are so several kind of creativity skills that you can practice to become more creative, yeah, in the workplace. So use in combination, they can be so effective when you use them in combination, in helping you think differently about a problem or task at the workplace. Or suppose if you are generating a new standard operating procedure in the work area, or if you really want to go with a problem, go to solve or resolve a problem, you can apply this creativity there, right, to get more benefits. Sometimes even in the finance, people are so creative. I can give ample of examples when finance guys, they can be so creative while analyzing the data, or presenting the data, or driving the conclusions from the data. Yeah. So applying certain kind of flow processes, flow patterns in the finance function, or even in business development, or even in sales and marketing, you can see a lot of people, the leaders, they use a lot of creativity to increase the sales or to market their products. So it's all about how you can actually, I can give some examples of making connections. That is also one of the creativity skill technique. So when you are creative, what comes out, you find connections between different ideas and use these connections to solve the problem. So how many of you agree to this? Because I want to really see, when you are attending this session, I really want, I will be talking about a lot of skills, but I really want you to be attentive. When you actually, when you are attentive, you are a good listener, you can really think of lot of different ideas. Yeah, you can use those ideas and connections to solve some of the problems at your workplaces, in your businesses, in your startups, in your life, student life as well, right? So I'm going to cover something about the students also, how they can be so creative. So often these connections they happen when you are not actively thinking about the problem or the task. Yeah, something you read, something which you someone's told you, that can connect with the problem which is currently with you, and you see it in a very new way. There is a different angle, dimension, perspective which gets added into it, and being in a different environment or experiencing something for the first time, that can also create a lot of connections inside you, and that can help you to view certain tasks or the situations differently. Yeah, so asking the question, that is also another way of enhancing your creativity skill. Yeah, so being creative sometimes allows you to challenge, accept, that allows you to challenge the accepted or the conventional wisdom. Yeah, lot of Balbon movements here. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see that, Balvinder. Yeah, correct. Absolutely. So, because then you are a unique person with unique idea, and that is a kind of challenge, to the conventional wisdom. Yeah. So you may wonder why you do a task in a certain way, and why you have to follow something specific procedures. So when I used to be on shop floor in my career, because I, being a research and development scientist, had to go for a lot of technology transfers. Not only in India but abroad also. I had worked in Germany as well as US, doing the technology transfers, and there, when I used to see some of the procedures, I used to challenge those procedures, and I used to see a different perspective of doing those things, or different way. I used to give them different ways of doing the things, and that were so productive and so time efficient, right? So there may be times when the reason is no longer relevant, but everyone is used to doing it in that way. So when you come out with a different questioning, yeah, when you start, you have that inquisitive mind, and then it sometimes you have a challenge where people may not take you that positively. So this allows you to look for better ways to do that task, or revise the procedures to make them more relevant. So if you are a leader in your area, and if you really identify certain things and ask yourself those kind of questions, and when you challenge to your teams also, sometimes that can be taken in a negative way. But if you really able to convince your ideas, then nothing like that. So the third one which I want to give example is about making observations. So some people, you might have seen that they are very good listener as well as they are good observer, right? So you can discover the fresh ways of doing things by observing the world around you. Watching how people work can also inspire you. It can inspire you to think of ways to help them to become more efficient, become more productive. So the way someone approaches to task, might give you the idea. Sometimes, I've seen, classically, when I was working with one of my mentee, and my mentee, she had a kind of a she was really becoming more productive by using only the normal bags, normal paper bags to give her handcrafted products. Yeah, so I saw it, and when I saw that, initially I found it a very simple kind of outer bag, and inside a beautiful handicraft. And then when I was going and observing that particular thing, and I immediately link it, how. that those paper bags which she was getting from somebody, some vendor, how I can give it to one NGO so that they can in turn get benefited. And even this woman, business woman, who was also running her NGO and for the handicraft, how she can also how she could also get benefited. So sometimes these kind of observations, the smaller observations, when you are around with people or around in the workplace, and you see those kind of small observations, and you make them and you make note inside you, and you find some creative ideas which you can use further for making that more efficient, or being more productive, or giving opportunities to others to get more productive through that idea. So paying close attention to how people use products or services, that can also help you, as I said, how well they function. Yeah, and then you can actually devise ways to improve them. You can suggest them. That is how I have worked with so many of my mentees who are into businesses, and I come from a research and development background. So for me, observation is a must, because that has become my inbuilt characteristic now, being there in research and development. So when I observe from a different perspective, they call me because they want me to visit their businesses and see the processes so creatively, and what creative things I can add so that they get benefited, and they get a lot of revenues from their businesses. Yeah. So the networking, yeah, that is another example. When we are creative, we can usually enjoy a diverse company and network with people who are unlike themselves. So how many, yes, lot of bulb on moments. Correct, because when Shraddha, when you are with diverse people, you learn a lot. When you network with them, you learn a lot. You become more creative. So as I said, I come from a research and development background. I have spent formative years of my career, as well as my the entire career. If you see, I have spent a lot of time on shop floor. Yeah, in the research and development lab, and there, when I go with a different perspective and network with people from different domains or different expertise, or and they are so diverse, still being around people from these different backgrounds, they expose that expose me to new ideas, and then in turn I inspire myself in creative thinking. So that is how my journey has been. Talking and working with people, yeah, talking and working with people who view the world differently can help you gain new perspectives when approaching your work. So how many of you are ready for this? Yeah, so when, if you are ready, please get in touch with me, because I don't want to lose on any opportunity of networking with all of you, all beautiful women here, because that is where we can use our diverse perspectives for the growth of each other, right? So, experimenting. Now, it's coming to my area once again. Yeah. So, when it is creative, it is all about research, it is all about innovation. I'm so happy to deliver this particular session to all of you, because this is so close to my heart. So, bringing about your correct creativity may help you to experiment, yeah, may help you to explore something new. So, no matter how unusual that idea might be, you are a creative person. Those who are artists, or those who are nowadays those who are good singers, they are willing to test it and see if it works. So I see, I can give classical example of AR Rahman, who is the renowned music composer, and has won so many accolades. Yeah, so he has been experimenting. Yeah, he has been experimenting with a lot of music, for that matter, right? So that has So someone, when someone is really experimental, sometimes these ideas they work so beautifully for the growth of you as well as the people around you. So they sometimes people see failure as an opportunity to learn and improve. So there are so many examples, when I have seen one of my very distant and but yet very close relative who was he once thought that he can be really good into cricket, right? So when he actually said, I want to be in cricket, and then he spent maximum formative years of his young age in building that skill, how learning more about cricket, playing cricket. In Mumbai there are so many big cricket stadiums are available. And then later on he realized that he's also good at acting, and so he started taking learning so much into the acting. He took a lot of classes, formal classes in acting schools, renowned acting schools here in Mumbai. And then he also worked in small films. And then when when you are creative, you can always think of experimenting. And today I tell you, he is now not here, but he is not here in India, but he has used all that experience of create cricket as well as acting. He has used so beautifully in his sales and marketing career. So you never know that the experimenting which you do can take you where. Yeah. So to develop this skill, you have to keep working on that problem. You have to adjust some of the ideas. You have to rethink some of the ideas until you find a solution. Yeah, until you find the anchor where you can put that anchor and be stable in your life. So I want to give some tips, to improve the creativity skills in your life. So one of them is, try the circle challenge. So this is the one which is classically, I think everybody knows. Draw 20 circles, that then set a stop watch for 30 seconds. So make each circle into a unique picture before the time ends. Yeah. So this is a kind of exercise which you can do, and that forces you to think about the same thing in different ways. So suppose if you have those 20 circles and you set up a you can now yeah, you can now realize what can happen. Yeah, you can be so creative, so that every time, and you have to see to it that you don't repeat the same thing. Yeah, so you can put the same thing also in different ways, or you can really generate something new every time. So repeat, you can repeat this periodically to see how your thoughts are changing over a period of time. And I tell you how beautifully it works. Maybe probably you can use that. Yeah. So the second tip which I want to give is use a sketch pad. Yeah. So all I don't know if all of you can do this, but I sometimes this exercising activity, drawing or writing down ideas, they can help you to process that information. Because classically, yeah, I am a person, I always used to understand many things when I used to see visually everything on the presentation slides, or everything on the sketch pad. And that is where, if you are listening to a presentation, you could sketch something very relevant on your sketch pad. Yeah. And that can be, so when you are hearing that, that can be used for later on for something very significant kind of idea. So this can help you remember the things which were being said. So sometimes, I classically, I just want to give this example. It is such a beautiful example that whenever I am I'm giving this from my personal experience. I was doing a counseling of a student, and this student was in 12th standard, and then he had taken science as one of the subs. He was from the science stream, and when he actually, what he did, where he was finding it very difficult to really remember and recollect those chemical formulas in chemistry subject. and specifically hydrocarbons and carbon related compounds and everything. So that is where he came to me, and I run the counseling session for him, and I said, what is it the problem is all about? And he said, ma'am, I don't recollect and I don't remember also, because it is so difficult for me to remember and recollect and then again resolve the questions. And I said, okay, what is it which you really like in your life? And he said, okay, I gave him some some kind of a presentation about hydrocarbons, and he beautifully what he did, he put those things in a rhythmic pattern on his sketch pad. Yeah. So I said, what is it? And he said, ma'am, this is the kind of song which I'm learn the chemical formula based on that. And I said, wow, this is the creativity. Yeah. So when you find something very difficult to understand, and when you actually make it more kind of you relate it to something which you really like, that can make wonders. Yeah. That plays beautifully in remembering the things or doing some creativity kind of things in your area. So there is another tip which I want to give. Yeah, you read regularly. Yeah, so reading is just one way to mentally exercise. So exploring fiction novels, or for example, can introduce you to interesting creative concepts such as complex worlds, which are not the actual worlds, storylines, puzzles, characters. So another way, easy way to practice the mentally challenging games and puzzles is by using an app, because nowadays you all know that we use mobile devices so frequently, but use it in a constructive way so that you can build on your creativity skills, right? So when you are doing this, I especially if somebody is really into the education or still into the education, I want to tell them, yeah, anyone here? Yeah. So those who are you are using the app, but I really want you to use it very wisely, constructively, for your own growth. Yeah, for your own studies, to excel in your academics. Yeah. So the next tip I want to give is write. So I have been a writer from my childhood. So try recording your thoughts as a journal at the end of each day. Writing encourages you to think critically about your daily experiences and ideas, right? So yes, Swati. Yeah, absolutely, Kavita. Because that's your favorite. Yeah, yes, and it's my favorite too. Yeah. So then you can put some of your ideas, some of your thoughts on a piece of paper. At the end of each day, I remember I always write my gratitude journal. Yeah, that I learned in one of the kind of training session, how you can put your gratitude. And I tell you, gratitude, writing the gratitude, it works so beautifully. It has worked so beautifully for me, that everything, when you are in gratitude for the people, for the divine, for that matter, for your spouses, for your own spouse, for your siblings, for your children, for your in-laws, for your friends, for your colleagues, for your line manager, you can write anything at the end of the day. Wow, you were grateful for what during that day. Maybe three or five things, and that really improves a lot of things in your life. So finding ways to apply those critical and analytical thinking is a great way to exercise your mental abilities. Yeah. So next tip which I want to give is about how to improve on the creative skill is exercise. Now taking care of your physical as well as mental health, that can help you in an optimal position to practice and apply creative thinking. So yeah, I see a few comments there, and I know that exercise is so difficult nowadays because of the work pressures or anything. I see, yeah, Pratitnya talking, yeah, about no time, and yes, Ganesh saying there is no time for exercise. I spend a lot of time in commuting. Yeah, but I tell you that if you have to find time, you will find anyways. Yeah. So if you really want to be, you are in a creative area, you are working in a creative, you are a creative director, or you are having a team who is into creative, you are leading the creative function in your organization, or you really need a lot of creativity in your business, then probably you need to work on your physical as well as mental health, and that is adding regular exercise, even if it is for 20 or 30 minutes, two twice or three times a week. That can really help you to give best your best self at work. Yeah. So now there are few things, sometimes I tell my mentees, take a new route. Yeah. So, well, challenge yourself to take some alternative path to a place you regularly go to experience. Yeah. So new surroundings, going to a different way will expose you to unfamiliar sights or sounds or experiences, which can again lead to improving your overall creativity. Because I remember one of my cousins, she used to go for regular walks, and then she used to, every time, she used to go to, and find a different path to reach to her walking place. And that is where she used to find a lot of peace of mind, to be more creative in her business. And that is how beautifully these things they work. So when you find unfamiliar sights or sounds, your creativity increases, because then that gives lot. I don't understand, maybe I will find out the science behind it, but yes, that those different sounds or sights or experiences, they get somewhere in your subconscious mind. And though that those which are there in your subconscious mind can come out as very creative ideas. So try something new. That is another tip which I want to give. Maybe it is a new food, maybe it is a new outfit, maybe going to a movie. So today you can see me wearing this long chain of freshwater pearls, and I'm matching with this outfit. So I just thought of it instantly, and I said, okay, let me do something different here today, because then and then that can be really nice to see. Also, you will enjoy seeing me in such a long mala, and I'm also feeling so confident. So this is kind of creative thinking. You can do something new every time. Yeah. So I remember I used to go to a mall earlier. Yeah. So eventually, with the time I found, rather than going places, real marketplaces. So I try to do that activity on weekends, so that I get the opportunity to see a lot of people, a lot of vendors who are there, putting their stalls in the marketplace, or see a lot of new products which have come into the local market. So all these things, they increase your knowledge. That is another way of doing something new. So when you expose your, like, today I was just thinking, today is my daughter's birthday, and I was just thinking, what creative way I can, what is the way, a creative way which I thought, I can really wish her, because that I never tried. Yeah. So this I really took efforts, a few minutes or few, just before starting this session, I just took some minutes out, and I really recorded a beautiful remix song for her, to wish her, because those remix songs are her favorites. And I thought, what is that beautiful creative way of wishing her. And I believe it, that is really that has come out so beautiful. So when you do something new, you are more open minded, and then you remain more observant. Yeah. So as I said it, now the next one is the tip about music. So music can move you on an emotional level and change your mood and focus. So when you need to think creatively, because I have seen a lot of singers, they experiment so much with the music, and that doesn't come automatically. You have to be very creative, very innovative. There are people who learn, who keep on. I was listening yesterday to one of a beautiful session of Asha Bhosle ji, the renowned Indian playback singer. She was being interviewed by one of the very NDTV anchor, Mr. Sardesai. And the way she said, she said that music is my soul. Yeah, music is my soul. And when I really experiment in my music, that really gives me a lot of creativity in turning my life. So there was She also said that there were a lot of challenges in her life, but then this music, listening to music or playing with the music or doing some experimenting with the music, that really gave her a lot of peace of mind. Yeah. So having said this, even if you are in an open office, or in an open office concept, or nowadays it is so common putting in your earbuds to a creative enhancing track, that can really improve your problem solving and innovation skills. Yeah. So a lot of people are, yeah, yes, absolutely, absolutely, Raji, you are right. Because I know many of the women here, beautiful women, they sing so nicely, and yeah, some of you are saying that you are learning music. Yeah, that's so nice of you. So ask for feedback about your idea. That is another tip which I want to give. Creativity is not inclusive to your thoughts and ideas, but also it integrates people's concepts and collaboration with others. So it is always good that you should ask about feedback about your ideas. One way to improve your creative thinking is always to ask for feedback and then advice about your ideas. So this you can do with your colleague or with your friend. So while receiving this input, try to put yourself in your colleagues' place and try to understand their point of view. That is my tip to you. Now, then another tip is find motivation in an unrelated industry. This is something so much, which I can talk about hours and hours. So when problem solving about a challenge related to your field, look outside your industry for the motivation. Yeah, because that really plays so beautifully. There may be some simple answer or idea which is available that would work even in your scenario. So when you look out in other industries which are not related to you, you might find something very creative to your current problem. So using the skills of making connections, observation, and problem solving, you can draw on others' successes to achieve your own. Yeah, right? Absolutely. Yes. So beautifully said, yeah, Ramya. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah, I really love this because this is the crowd which really motivates me. Yeah, because I see so many of you responding to this, and it is sometimes it is so simple. Our problem is so simple, and we are so stuck up. And when we actually see work into or see the work done in unrelated industry or domain, and we find the idea which can click even in our current situation where we want to have a solution to certain problem, it works so beautifully. Yeah, creativity is all about that. You can improve your creativity through this. Now choose diversity. Yeah, so if you have the opportunity, choose to be one on a team of people who are not like you, because then you get different perspective, different views, different ideas from different stakeholders. Yeah, so me being the project management head, I always saw that every time whenever I used to have a new project coming to me, because all classically, even in research and development, there are people who are coming with a kind of a very strong backgrounds about certain oral dosage forms, maybe tablets or capsules or injectables or anything. But every time I used to choose someone very different from the technical area coming in, because then he used to or she used to get a different perspective, different ideas how to go about the product launch. So that helped me a lot of times. Yeah, so this is just one example. Surrounding yourself with people who have different perspectives can broaden your point of view and inspire the new ways you can try out. Yeah, at your workplace, in your businesses, or anywhere. So I'm going to take something very different now today. That is why it is so important for students to be creative, because that is where when today's youth, the students who are today's youths, they need to really be creative, right? And learning requires creativity, since it provides learners a favorable impact on their education and makes it enjoyable. Yeah, so people can address challenges in their daily lives and increase their productivity through creativity. So creativity aids in the development of practical thinking abilities, which is one of the most important results of a solid education. So this is where you can actually encourage your children, or if you are teacher, then encourage your students to use make use of creative aids, yeah, to have that, develop that creative thinking ability. Some people, they learn more quickly when they are young, yeah. So schools are the best place to foster creative thinking. That's what I feel. It can foster creative thinking and imagination, so which is the foundation of creativity. So I encourage that, students, if there are few students, then I think, I don't know, I'm not aware whether there are any students. Maybe you can raise your hand, and I understand that you are still into the education phase of your life. So thus, encouraging students to think creatively can be quite important, yeah. So due to students ability to pick up the new information fast when they are younger, the learning new things becomes very easier, yeah. So curious minds are the most creative ones. So curiosity frequently promotes more original thought, yeah. So when students should actually cultivate an inventive and a very curious mind, since creativity aids in the complete growth of an individual, yeah, or for that matter any individual. So hence educational institutes, nowadays they develop, so they should, and they are doing best, to create to develop that creativity in students. I see even in the kindergartens nowadays, so many teachers and so many those who are leaders in that education industry, they come up with a lot of creative ideas for students, to develop them into nice humans, good human beings, skilled human beings. Now there are ways to develop creativity, even even when you are a teaching profession or you are a student, designing learning activities to foster creativity. So the faculty themselves can set up a variety of learning exercises for the students to foster creative thinking. Yeah, so if anyone is your from a educational teacher background, or professor, or taking lectures as a lecturer, faculty, please, you can connect to me if you want later on this topic. So this can foster creative thinking, such as giving them pen and paper and asking them to draw whatever comes to their mind, or asking them to close their eyes and simply observe their thoughts and as they arise, and then come on, this can be among other options, yeah. So these kind of activities can help students become very creative, more creative. The students become more mindful, and they are very conscious as a result of these exercises. So teachers should also encourage pupils to indulge in creative writing, yeah, creative speeches, yeah. So teaching them a variety of skills, which can boost their activity. That is another way of developing the creativity for students. So learning new skills, that always helps students develop their curiosity and makes them aware of the various options that are available to them. For example, like innovative thinking abilities, problem solving, 3D painting, Photoshop, video editing, you name it, and everything is available, right? So encourage them to think out of the box. That is another way. The world of creativity is very large, huge, it's dynamic, and it's important to encourage creativity in a way that gives the children the flexibility, the freedom to explore their ideas without worrying about the criticism or judgment. So encourage your children, encourage your students to take chances while working on some new projects. Yeah. So let them take some calculated risk. Let them develop their creativity. Asking student questions that may have never been posed before, or posing the questions like, how can we change things in a given context, or what may occur if, or such kind of thought process from teaching faculty can encourage them to think out of box. So these exercises, they enhance creativity regularly. Often they also offer the possibilities for new viewpoints, and then promote in turn the innovative problem solving abilities, which are necessary for the success in many types of occupations later on. So for example, like, sharing sometimes ideas among all or with each other, they need to have the confidence to experiment with the new ideas and try new things to be creative. Research, research or daring or risk taking and persistence. These are all necessary for creativity. So instead of being afraid, instead of being afraid of failure or criticism or judgment, students should view these things as a scope for improvement. So that's my advice to students. Sharing concepts with the entire class can be so beneficial because it broadens the range of viewpoints on a certain topic. Beautifully nowadays, a lot of brainstorming session they happen in a lot of schools. So this technique can create on educational institutions or universities. So these techniques they can increase productivity in the classroom. When a teacher describes each student's method, each student waits for his or her own turn, which develops interest and fosters competitiveness among the students. So as a result, the students their creativity grows, and it is and they that's a they are given more voice to share their thoughts and ideas, right? So provide constructive feedback and assistance to the students. So develop this and enhance their creative processes. Students they require a lot of constructive feedback, so the ability to learn from the mistakes or the criticism or the new kind of innovative ideas which they have implemented, that can be useful as a tool to produce new greater ideas in the future. So students will be able to focus and give greater kind of emphasis on the portions of their work that are working well by receiving immediate feedback on their ideas. So always see to it that you give creative feedback. Yeah, now I'm going to move to a different zone, that is a workplace. Yeah, creativity in the workplace. Yeah. So 1 second please. I'm so sorry. I need this. Yeah. So coming back to the creativity in the workplace. Yeah. So, fostering creativity in the workplace, yeah, is more about, more than that physical output. So, building a creative work environment for your employees or within your organization can make each one of the employee and the organization better problem solvers. Driving more motivation and growth for business. Yeah. So, encouraging creativity has a bunch of benefits for employees, their managers, and the business as a whole. Because that breeds flexibility in thinking. It helps. It actually helping those workers or those who are at junior level to come up with unique ideas and solutions to problems. Yeah. So managers who want to foster this creativity in the workplace will never doubt, no doubt be aware that this can only increase the engagement, productivity, teamwork, because altogether a creative work environment improves the health of your business. Yeah, it increases, and with that, there is always that it increase team morale. They help each other so well. Yeah, and you can retain the best of your employees in the process, and you can really attract new talent because the employees with high morale, they can go out and they can talk good about their own organization to others and attract more talent in turn to the organization. So many CEOs they consider creativity to be one of the most important qualities of a leader. Yeah. So coming, I just want to give some of the tips to inspire creativity at workplace. Yeah. So creating a stimulating atmosphere. This is so important. Setting up an atmosphere of creativity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shanaya, you are right. Yeah, yes, Seema, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, I did not see that. Yeah, of course, because maybe in your organization there is no more scope for that, to improve on your creativity. But you can really speak to your line manager about it and get the best solution to your, this issue. Yeah, you can really convince them. So Seema, I'll connect to you later on this because I have to move with this, session. So you can get in touch with me on enduringgenesis@gmail.com, or you can ping me on my WhatsApp. Yeah. So creating a stimulating atmosphere. Coming back to that, business renowned for their creativity, such as design agencies or entertainment companies like Netflix, and children's brands like Lego, they tend to actually, reside in offices purpose built to encourage creativity. So if you see, I visited Google, and I visited Microsoft also in US, and I saw so much creativity at the workplace. Yeah, so the offices are built in that fashion. They are built so that the creativity can get, at a peak when employees come to the workplace. So these offices, they often boast soundproof rooms for quiet thinking, bright colors. I don't know how many of you have seen the bright colors in US offices, or for that matter in India offices nowadays. Most of the multinational companies, they have so many bright color. They have those gyms with so many bright kind of, room for meditation. So, or a clever architecture that provides stimulation throughout the workday. Yeah, so I encourage each one of you, those who are in businesses or in the leadership positions, they can actually create a stimulating atmosphere at the workplace. So not all companies can set up their offices like this, obviously. But if your company is more like, cubicle than characterful, then don't worry. Yeah. So there are still ways to build a creative atmosphere. So I'll take you through that. So simple changes can be very hugely effective. Like, hanging art on the walls in your cubicle, or adding a fresh coat of colorful paint to your meeting rooms through your conferences, or filling the office with rich green plants so that, they are more visible to you when you are actually thinking very significant about some project. So all these are easy ways to inspire creativity. So ask employees what gets their brains, um, working. Yeah, inspire them to decorate their workplace accordingly. So give them that freedom. So the goal is to create the workplace that works wonder. Yeah, that works wonders, and they stimulate them and make them comfortable so that their creativity is at its best when they are in offices. Yeah, so make creativity a priority. So when research firm like, Gallup, yeah, they looked into what fosters creativity. They found there are three key factors that can drive creativity at workplace. So I just want to share that. Firstly, they said that there must be an expectation that workers will be creative. Yeah, so they hired people who were creative. So while putting pressure on employees can be counterproductive sometimes, so encouraging creativity from every individual, whether they are a data analyst or designer, and making it an expectation of every job role, helps these workers develop skills associated with the creative thinking. So that is what they did in their company. Secondly, the workers, they need time to be creative, right? So reworking processes to allow room for brainstorming, deep work will, these things will stop workers from taking the easiest route, because they don't have time to consider more innovative solutions at workplace. So, that is so important. Now lastly, workers, they need freedom, right? So creativity requires risk taking, and if employees are not given ample number of opportunities to take risks, they will continue to deliver work based on pre-established boundaries or specifications. So that is where I think that, as a firm or as an organization, or as an entrepreneur to your team, you need to give that, creativity for risk taking. Yeah, because the risk taking can really build the creativity. Now, having said this, encourage unique voices. So, if you see, sometimes the employees, they hesitate to share their ideas because they are worried that that those ideas will be outrightly rejected. So, if a business's senior leader or senior leadership is renowned for shutting down suggestions from more junior employees, then classically you will see that these workers will avoid thinking critically about their work. So, this risk is so much to your entire workplace as well as to organization, because then it can lead to a bore out. Yeah, yeah, of course, Rajan. Yeah, Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm just disconnecting this call. So, for businesses that want to inspire creativity, this is the worst case scenario. Yeah. So, employees are shut off and they are not able to voice their opinions. Yeah, their ideas. So, instead, make sure that it is clear that the business values employees' opinions, ideas, wants to hear their thoughts. Employees want to feel really valued because that is what is so important, which gives them motivation and engagement. Yeah. So there are several ways to gather suggestions from employees. So as I have covered in my earlier session that it is always worth allowing workers to share their ideas in open forums, in town hall meetings, or in maybe a survey monkey, because then you will get a lot of insights what's happening within the organization. So to grow transparency among the team, set up regular meetings during which employees can share ideas for improvements, and push the senior leaders to operate an open door policy which allows greater collaboration across the business. So all these things are possible at workplace, and nowadays a lot of companies, they understand, they know the value of doing this, and they are doing it. So I'm so happy that there are so many Indian companies also, the medium scale companies also, they have such kind of, they are fostering such kind of work environment. Yeah. So create a new partnership, that is another way to improve on creativity. Yeah. So on a micro level, we have team collaboration. When teams work in silos, they actually avoid sharing information with each other or across the group or across the business. So that leads to a lot of communication breakdown. Yeah. So, and then there is always the absence of critical thinking or creative thinking. So collaboration is key to innovation. But if the teams are not talking, then it becomes a kind of impossibility. So the solution is to facilitate the collaboration between the teams. If I used to be a project management head, I used to take a lot of people from different teams, and I used to take them for team dinners, and they in the informal way they used to be together, and then they used to really give creative ideas to resolve some of the critical problems in the project. So you never know what fresh ideas these relationships will lead to. Yeah. So the again, coming to the workplace scenario, you need to prioritize diversity, because then you get a fresh perspective in your business, right? As I think I have covered that. So prioritizing diversity when building a team means your employees will have a wide array of experiences and backgrounds to draw from when they will come across with some problem. So having too many workers with the same experiences, that will limit your experience creativity, because then there will not be a fresh perspective or a different or approach to resolve the situation or challenges. So diversity covers, it covers everything, like from cultural backgrounds to gender to work experience to education. So the more unique perspectives you have, the greater is the opportunity for creativity. So make good ideas a reality. Yeah, because sometimes it happens within the organization that your workers or your employees, through a lot of options which we discussed earlier, town hall meetings or regular meetings, there are so many ideas which pop up. But it is always good to work on some of the ideas which are coming from this source, and then you actually making them into reality. Yeah. So because if these ideas they are not coming to the reality, that will again demotivate your workforce. Yeah. So if you don't act on your employees fantastic suggestion, they will simply stop sharing them. So again, this is something which you really, as a line manager or the group leader or the business leader, or those who are into businesses or in the startup, they really have to take care of that you implement some of the ideas immediately. So when acting on a suggestion, let the employees know, because that is also very essential. So if the idea is a success, give them credit for their work, and share that with the wider team, so that then those who are really the idea generators, they will come up with the new ideas. Yeah. So it's not good to avoid it's not good to avoid such kind of communications going to other teams and spreading the news that this idea has worked so beautifully at your place or within your function. Because Then sometimes you also tend to, there are few leaders which I have seen that, they blame people, blame their own employees if something doesn't work. So that is not a good thing. The more positive results you share across the team, then the more your team will be willing to share their ideas with you. So those who are leaders here or heading the functions, please understand this. Yeah. So another one is, again, it's coming to the creative days. Arrange some creative days in your company, because these days are popular amongst a lot of creative agencies, but they can also help to inspire a lot of corporate teams. So if my suggestion is to, if you can work on that idea, that is, it draws the concept of artist dates. Yeah. So popularized by this Julia Cameron in her book The Artist Way. So this is so important. Creative days, they need not be very complicated, but they can be fun if you are adventurous. So creative thinking activities for employees can really include trips to museums or exhibitions or trekking, or even if life it's like drawing classes or pottery making workshop. They are not so relevant to your output, even if you feel that. But then, doing those activities together can really make your dream more creative. Yeah. 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 Right. Right. Swapna. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So your organization had done pottery workshop. Yeah, that's good. So encourage creative development. Whenever, whereas creative days are for the team, encouraging creative development focuses on the individual. Right? Suppose, like specific employee. So around 3 in 4 people, they don't feel that they are living up to their fully creative potential. So you can identify those, individuals and really put them on the creative development program. So even if their job doesn't really demand it, still you can take the call as a line manager, because that really encourages them to be more creative and productive at the workplace. So studies have shown that being creative helps you better process emotions, and that reduces the anxiety levels and also sharpens your mind. So some of the identified individuals who you feel that, they need to go for such kind of a development program, put them for those development program to improve the efficiency of the team. Yeah. Now, another thing at the workplace which I want to advise is about, how you can facilitate knowledge sharing. Yeah. So knowledge sharing goes a long way to inspiring creativity in the workplace. So your diverse team will have a huge array of experiences and knowledge coming from their earlier organizations or businesses. But what is good if they share? If they share with your with each other. So facilitate knowledge sharing. Those kind of take some initiatives if you are a line manager, where your team members can share their ideas, experiences, knowledge based experiences with their colleagues. So one way to do this is to arrange a different employee to run that workshop on the specific area of expertise, interest, or culture every month. Yeah. So while there is no expectation for the whole workforce to become expert, but knowledge sharing can always be a fun. It can be engaging. It can be inspiring to be more creative. Yeah. So invest in great goals. Lastly, workers may not be arriving at a creative solution because they don't have those technologies or resources to do so. So do you provide the physical resources that they need to brainstorm effectively? So always understand this. When you are a line manager, put some budget for such kind of activities. Like, consider kitting your meeting rooms out with A3 sketch pads, colorful markers, sticky notes, everything a team needs to get the creative juices flowing in them. Yeah. So having said this, access to the right technology opens up new avenues for creativity and innovation. So do that. If you are a line manager and you have a team of 10 or 15 people, or even for that matter 4 people, try to do this. For example, this can really cover anything from databases for research, or it can be image banks for project management software or creative tools. So all this area, if you invest in the greater goals, that really helps in building up the creativity within your team. Now, creativity in business. So here there are four benefits of creativity in business, which I want to really emphasize. One is it encourages innovation. Second, it boosts the productivity. It allows for adaptability, and it fosters the growth. Yeah, so overall growth. So how it increases, I just want to touch base on the how innovation helps. How it accompanies the innovation. So for something to be innovative, there are two requirements. Like, so it must be a novel idea and it has to be useful. So while creativity is crucial to generate the ideas that are both unique and original, they are not always inherently useful. So innovative solutions can't exist, however, without a component of creativity. So when you are innovative, or when you give lot of emphasis on to the innovation, obviously the creativity is one of the important thing which you enhance in your organization. So creativity also increases productivity. Now creativity, it gives you the space to work smarter instead of harder. So which can again increase your productivity and efficiency, can combat the stagnation in your workplace and business. Routine and structure, they're incredibly important. I'm not saying that, denying that, but it should not be implemented at the expense of improvement, yeah, and growth. So when a creative and innovative environment is established, the productivity level of the business can spike upward. Yeah? So it also creativity also allows for adaptability. So here I want to give one example, like for COVID-19 pandemic, you know. When we were working on so many kind of scenarios, uh, the COVID-19 pandemic dramatically change how the present day business and or the world functions. So in such instances, imaginative thinking and innovation are so critical to maintain the business operations, and that I think everyone who is into the business have learned this. So I'm not going to emphasize, elaborate more on that. Now, creatively approaching challenges requires adaptability, but that doesn't always necessitate is significantly adjusting your business model. So don't do that, but you can really foster that kind of adaptable kind of environment in your organization. For example, you might develop a new product or service or slightly modify the current one to improve the efficiency. So big problems don't always require big solution. So don't reject any idea which comes to you, because then when if you are adaptable, then you are more open to improve your business operations. Yeah. So change is inevitable in the business world. So creative solutions are vital to adapting to it. Yeah. So also it's necessary for our growth. Yeah. Our business growth. So one of the main hindrances to a business growth is cognitive fixedness, the idea that there is only one way to interpret or approach a situation or a challenge. So cognitive fixedness, that is a stubbornness, which I will call, I will say in a layman language, is an easy trap to fall into, as it can be very tempting to approach every situation with a similar way. Yeah, and then what you have done in the past, but every situation, understand that it's dynamic and different. So, if a business leader doesn't take the time to clearly understand the circumstances they face, encourage the creative thinking, and act on findings, then their company can stagnate. I have seen a lot of organizations suffering like this, and the growth is really it's not happening. Yeah. So it is also, creativity is also a kind of an in-demand skill. So creativity and innovation, these are the skills which are commonly sought after in all top industries. Yeah. So including those who are in healthcare, manufacturing, engineering, This is largely because every industry nowadays, there were a lot of complex challenges that require creative solutions. So how you can encourage creativity and innovation? So if you want to facilitate an innovative workplace, there are some steps which I again want to take you through, maybe a brief one. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't punish your failures. Provide the resources necessary to innovate. Don't try to measure results very quickly. Maintain an open mind, foster a collaboration, encourage diversity. Again, because why I'm stressing on these points, because these are the points which are so very much important to encourage creativity and innovation at workplace. Yeah, because I have seen a lot of companies, or even in our personal relationships, when something doesn't work out, we punish the failure, right? So that's not a good approach. Yeah, don't be afraid to take risks. You need to take sometimes, come out of your zone. If something creative is coming to you to foster the growth of the organization, you should take that calculated risk, weigh that risk, have the mitigation plan in place, and jump into that. Yeah, because that creativity can really be so important for the growth of your organization. Yeah. So sometimes it is also, I've seen in many small companies, that they don't provide the resources which are very much necessary to innovate. Because when you don't provide such kind of resources, at least the I will not say the optimum resources, then it doesn't work. Yeah. So if your colleagues have the opportunity, I'm just giving one example, to be creative, you need to provide those resources to promote innovation. Because then it may call for some financial investment or tools or training materials, but you can really do that. It is in your best interest to invest in your team to produce those innovative results. Yeah. Sometimes we as line managers, we always tend to really measure the result. We want to measure the results quickly. We just want to see whether this idea is working or not, and we are just so anxious about it. So I will suggest that don't go this way, because doing so could result in a lost opportunity, because some ideas take longer to yield the most positive outcomes. Yeah, so you have to have the patience. That is the important element of creativity. So don't try to measure the results too quickly. Give some time. Curate your product, curate your services for over a period of 1 year, 3 years, and then see what kind of benefits are coming out of those. Yeah. So having said this, I just want to going to go to my beautiful, the most important, the most favorite session, or this part of the session, that is quotes. Yeah. So after that, I'm going to sign off, yeah, from this session. So there is one beautiful one which I'm going to the quote which is from Albert Einstein, and that is, creativity is seeing what everyone else has seen, and thinking what no one else has thought. Yeah? So, what is creativity? He has defined so deeply. It says that he says that creativity is seeing what everyone else has seen, and then thinking what no one else has thought. Yeah. So always see to it that when you are looking at a, creative idea, always see to it that it is you who are seeing that. Yeah. And others may not see that. So you always have women, you always have that gifted kind of skill within you, which you can use at your workplace, in your businesses, which nobody really wants to even give a thought to it. So you can use it so beautifully for your growth in the organization, or for the growth of your business. Yeah. So the second one is coming from Scott Adams, and this is, he's saying, creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to give. Yeah. So always understand this, that whenever you are going to be creative, you are going to implement that creative idea, you can you can uh, you know you can see failures coming in. But those, as I said in my earlier sessions also, you mistakes are not mistakes, they are learning. That is how I take them. They are your learnings, and how quickly you make those learnings as your insights, as your experiences and use them for again using more creativity or more creative ideas. That's the important part of you being very creative. Yeah. The third one, which is coming from Sheryl Sandberg. Yeah. So she is the CEO of Facebook. Yeah. She says women need to shift from thinking. Women need to shift from thinking, I'm not ready to do that, to a thinking, I want to do that and I will learn by doing it. So, ladies, my women friends here, always remember that when you focus or shift your focus from your inner thought that I'm not ready to do that to a thought which said I want to do that and I will do that by learning it. Please do it because creativity is all about that. Yeah. When you say that you cannot do it, when your inner voice, when the people around you, they say it, but when your inner idea, your own creative idea, which you are confident of, and when you think inside that this idea is going to click, you know, do it. Yeah. And when you think that you don't have that expertise to implement that creative idea, learn all those techniques. Yeah, that is what Sheryl Sandberg is saying through this quote. Now the other one which I want to give it to is some boss lady, it's a motivational notebook something, but it is so good. I'm going to replace the word strong woman to a creative woman because that is what the quote says, but I'm going to apply it to us as we are the most creative animals on this planet. Yeah, we women. Yeah, so be a strong woman. I'm going to replace this and see the impact. Be a creative woman. Yeah, I want to pass on that legacy of me being creative to my next generation, to probably my daughter. Today is my daughter's birthday, so I really want her to have my creativity and I want to pass that legacy to her. So here is this quote, which is going to go so beautifully to all the women, my sweet friends, those who are of my daughter's age and those who are really elder to me, very senior to me with so much of experience. I just want to give this tip for you to be creative, and that tip is, that particular quote which is coming from this boss lady motivational notebook, wherein I'm going to replace the strong woman with a creative woman. Be a strong woman, be a creative woman, so your daughter will have a role model. Yeah. And your son will know what to look for in a woman when he is a man. Wow, lot of Galwan moments. So that's the magic of being a creative leader. Yeah, that's the magic of being creative in your life. So be a creative woman. So your daughter will have a role model, and your son will know what to look for in a woman when he is a man. Absolutely stunning quote, and that can go with the strong woman, that can go with the creative. You change adjective for all women out here. You can change that objective, that adjective with any of the powerful word and use it in your life. Yeah, that's my advice to you. And the last one, which I'm going to again give a quote from Tian Li, where she says, any society that fails to harness the energy and creativity of its women is at a huge disadvantage in the modern world. So, so, so true. So, those who are the leaders, male leaders here, and watching me live, and I just want to tell them, why diversity inclusion, why the gender, diversity is so important at workplace. Why? Because any society that fails to harness the energy and the creativity which comes from we the women, that society is at a huge disadvantage in the modern world. So having said this, is such those, the last two quotes, so powerful quotes. I just want to you know just want to encourage you, apply your creativity wherever possible, whenever possible, in your businesses, at your workplace, in your relationships, and really, be those inspirations to others. Yeah, be those women who are full of confidence with that creativity, growing into businesses, having a lot of successes in your life. And with that, I'm signing off, and today I'm going to go out because it's my daughter's birthday, and I'm really going to have some kind of celebration online with her. She's sitting in Boston, and she's going to connect to us. So I'm going to signing off from this session now, and we'll connect to you tomorrow again with one more important skill topic. Yeah. So I love you all and say goodbye. Yeah.